Note on the fall of civilization, Clocktime. Archaeologists, philosophers, and amateur speculators revolve around myths and legends of ancient lost civilizations, even concepts elaborated with a logic about the Silurians, and also attributing achievements superior to ours on the basis of possible relics of imperfect dating. Corruption, dishonesty and other evils contributed to the fragmentation and fall of the Roman Empire and its consequences. In the remnants of time, where shadows are intertwined with light, and echoes of ancients resonate in the hallways of oblivion, you find the story of a civilization that rose and fell like a violated colossus. Corruption and dishonesty have corroded the foundations of a great civilization. The Roman Empire, with its splendor and decadence, faced its own abyss. Senators conspired in the shadows, generals fought for power, and citizens argued between loyalty and survival. Corruption was manifested not only in the halls of the Senate, but also in the streets. Taxes crushed the poorest, while the rich accumulated wealth. Legions, once invincible, were fragmented into rival factions. The ancient gods seemed to have retreated, and faith was crumbling. Decadence spread like a plague. The Silurians, if they ever existed, would watch with sadness how greed and ambition destroyed what they had built. The ruins of Rome, with its falling columns and worn-out mosaics, are a reminder that no civilization is immune to the passage of time and corruption. In the 20th century, as global wars roared and new powers emerged backed by amazing technologies, the world seemed to consolidate. However, under the surface, evil forces continued to sprinkle like debris in a careless garden. The shadows of World War II spread over Europe and the Pacific. Atomic weapons destroyed cities and left indelible scars in history. The Cold War tensions divided the world into two blocks, and the arms race threatened a nuclear apocalypse. But there was also hope. Space exploration took off, and mankind looked up to the stars. Technology advanced at giant steps, and by the beginning of the 21st century global communication became instantaneous. However, the same tools that could unite humanity could also be fertile ground for a new decline. Contagious diseases, increasingly expensive and inaccessible medicine and food, political corruption and economic crashes, or they weren't destinations. The automation of services and production systems and their relationship to unemployment was neither direct, nor simple, nor proportional, and would have been resolved with conscious planning. Between hope and threat in the dawn of the 21st century, humanity was at a crossroads. Technological wonders spread like a cloak of possibilities, but also threatening shadows over the horizon. The network of networks, the Internet, woven invisible threads that connected people from every corner of the world. Information was flowing at vertiginous speeds, and distances were shrinking. From the Amazon jungle to the Siberian steppes, everybody was a click away, regulated by governments but with this global connectivity, questions arose: how to filter the truth from the lie? How can we prevent information from becoming an uncontrollable avalanche? Medicine was advancing at giant steps. Diseases, once deadly, gave in to scientific advances. But, paradoxically, health became an unattainable luxury for many. The prices of medicines and treatments escalated, and the gap between those who could afford and those who couldn't afford widened. Was this the price of medical innovation? Political corruption and economic turmoil remained a constant. The leaders of powerful nations were entangled in scandals, while economies fluctuated like leaves in the wind. Was it inevitable that power would corrupt them? Could we find a balance between progress and integrity? Automation, like a double-edged sword, promised efficiency and productivity. However, it also threatened to leave millions without jobs. The factories became silent, replaced by machines. How can we ensure that technology does not leave behind the most vulnerable? Could we find a way to a fairer society? Just as the empires of antiquity saw their own fall and the Romans saw their pillars collapse, we face challenges. Greed, corruption, and ambition remain our enemies. Digital ruins and invisible scars will remind us that we must learn and fight for a better future. The answer lies in our hands, in the decisions we make today. Archaeologists will dig the traces of our mistakes. In the digital ashes, you will find the social networks that divided humanity into opinion bubbles. Wars, conflicts, wrong decisions, everything will be imprinted on the layers of history. Maybe study the algorithms that perpetuated disinformation or the treaties that failed to prevent the climate disaster. Technology, that double-edged sword, will be your subject of study. They'll analyze the devices that connected us and isolated us at the same time. The social networks that united hearts and divided minds. The algorithms that predicted our elections and caught us in information bubbles. How will they balance miracle and warning? Just as the archaeologists of the past uncovered the remains of ancient civilizations, they will face their own challenge. How will they interpret our era? What narrative will you build from the fragments you find? Greed and corruption will continue to be their enemies. But they will have the opportunity to learn from our mistakes.